Hey, every day the sun won't shine, but that's why I love tomorrow. For the past few weeks, I've been finding myself in these cycles between very intense creativity and even more intense defeat. And it's not the type of defeat that comes after hours of working on something that just doesn't work out. This is the type of defeat that can only come when you don't even trust yourself enough to start in the first place. The defeat that at its core clings on to so many of your untouched ideas. The same kind of defeat that leads to questions like, what am I doing with my life? Why am I so lazy? Wouldn't it be easier to just stop? How ironic, right? To consider stopping before I even start. So I fasted for 7 days with the intentions of combating those questions with questions like, what are you afraid of? Do you trust your divinity? What's fueling your expectations? Here's what I found. Hey Blossoms, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lauren. In my previous video, I talked to you guys about some tips and tricks that I have learned along the way for fasting. And I thought it would be really helpful if I just came on here and actually talked to you guys about what I have gotten out of fasting, but specifically this past fast. I know that everyone doesn't really have the means to fast, and some of you guys just might want to know like what you're getting yourself into. So that's pretty much the purpose of this video. For me, something that became very, very clear during this fast was the fact that when I get uncomfortable, I just need to center myself. I need to pray. I do get overwhelmed easily, and I just need to sit down. I need to ask for help. Is a really main thing, is just ask for help. Get into my place where I feel the most comfortable and hit my zen. Like, I just need to press that zen button. A lot of times I forget my why in life. I think anyone who has had a background with mental health issues, self-harming, you can get to that point. No matter what stage you are in your healing, it can become hard, very, very hard to live, especially if you're someone like me, where a lot of times your sadness and disappointment is self-inflicted, right? So I had to really address my why a lot this week, and just really get back to, what am I doing this stuff for? Who am I doing it for? I fasted from social media, and I fasted from social media for a lot of reasons, but the main reason is that I hate being a consumer of so many people's lives at one time. Like, I love you guys. I love seeing everyone in fucking Cabo. Love seeing everyone getting a new job. But I become such a consumer of everyone else's life and begin to get so separate from like who I really am. And so I was doing daily walks and finding so much joy in those walks, I can't even explain it. Like, I wanted to even do this video outside. Like, I feel so whole when I'm in nature, and outside it was just such a good experience. Like, I really focused. Sometimes I would leave my phone at home. I would put on, when I did have my phone, I would walk with like binaural beats in, and really just feel like, I felt like that coming to life story. Like, you're just walking, the frequencies are playing, I'm saying good morning to everyone, I'm helping people pick up stuff out of their yard. Like, it's good to really touch grass. Like, I know that that's become such a like thing to say, but it's one thing to say it and another thing to do it. Like, please touch grass. I've been able to learn myself. Of course I know that I love nature, but even outside of that, I gave myself so much space to do hobbies and explore other things that I really do enjoy, like trying at-home Pilates, crocheting, things that I would have never given myself the space to do if I wasn't intentional about it. If I wasn't like, okay, I'm fasting, what are things that I'm gonna add? What are the lessons I wanna learn? I really would never do that. I would never do that. I'm always in such a cycle. And I think that we are all in this perpetual cycle of wake up, go to school, go to work, make dinner, go to the gym, go to sleep, right? There is a cycle that we're all in. And of course, life is about a cycle, right? We have days, we have nights, but you're allowed to add in things that you want to do, and shift your perspective, and the things that you're interested in can happen, right? You don't have to just be that person like, oh, I wish I could do that. You can do that. That's one thing I've learned through various different fasts, that I can do a lot of things. In addition to that too, my mind always gives up before my body. There's be times where my mind is like, let's go get something to eat, and my body is like, I'm not hungry. There'll be times where my mind is like today, I lost my headphones, was at the gym. I didn't want to go to the freaking gym, but my body was like, we need to be here. We can be here. We get to work out. We get to build the body that we want and be healthy. But my mind was like, why in the world would I work out without my headphones? You know? So it's so many different things on an everyday basis that your mind is going to tell you that you can't do or you shouldn't do. And this is why it's so important to understand that you're not your thoughts. You're not your mind. You're more so the awareness behind all of that. And once you come to terms with that awareness, you can start to defeat your ego, and you can start to function more as yourself, your true self, like authentically, outside of all of these different thoughts and all of these other ideas that have been put on us through society. If you become more aware of the awareness of the thought, you get back to yourself more. And I went very meta. I went very meta with that. But I hope that someone receives that and really understands that there's so many things you can be telling yourself that are not even true to you. It's not even you saying those things. It's just what's comfortable and what's trying to keep you operating in fear. And you don't have to work in that place anymore. And the biggest thing that I took away from this fast, seriously, was that you can be still and still moving. That was my quote of the week, and I really fixated on it because it kind of went over my head at first until it didn't, you know, and I think it'll go over a lot of people's heads, but now it is literally the hinge and throne of everything I believe in. You can be still and still moving. And we are in this constantly accelerating world, right? There's constantly new technology coming out, constantly new ways to take care of yourself, new this, new that, right? And it kind of almost forces you to keep up, right? You want to keep doing new things. You want to work 50 hours a week. You want to start a business. You want to go to the gym. There's so much to be done, right? At all times, there's so much that can be done. And it gets us to future trip. It gets us to think about the past, get upset about, oh, well, I should have started this time and I should have done this, that, and that back in the past, right? You start to really get fixated on how you can constantly be a better person. And like, you're not a self-improvement project. And I think Lynette Atkins talked about this perfectly. You don't always have to be thriving to be the next thing. There's so much breakthrough in being present and being still and really having that confidence to sit down with yourself and be like, I don't have to do anything right now. And so one way that really played a role in my fast, right? So I'm going through my fast. First days of a fast, always good. If you're not having a good first day of your fast, you're not being intentional enough, right? Honestly, the first day should always be good. For me, I'm to the point, my first 3-4 days, beautiful, easy peasy, beautiful, cover girl, right? And then I get to, this had to have been day 5, day 6. And day 6, I was very fatigued. I think now thinking back, I think that's just what it was. I was fatigued. I didn't feel hungry, but you know, you get to that point where it's like, there's a scientific word for it, but you're not gonna feel hungry eventually in a fast, but you will start to get fatigued. Your energy goes down, whatever. And I didn't do anything the whole day. My last video was supposed to be filmed on that day. I didn't film it. There's a million things I wanted to do. I'm working on a crochet outfit. I didn't do it. It's a million things I needed to do in my head. I'm like, I need to do this, and I didn't do them. And so that procrastination, obviously, I feel like, maybe it's not obvious, but for me, that type of procrastination always leads to self-hate, and always leads to me thinking about the past and all of the times that I've been so lazy. And so for hours, I remember that day I watched Suits for hours. I was just consuming technology, and finally I put my phone down and I was like, I'm disgusted with myself, right? Like I said, it leads to that self-hate. I start going down that tunnel of all of the bad things I've ever done in my life. And finally God came in, and I just heard, like, be grateful, right? And it's hard to kind of explain those moments where God speaks to you, because it's not necessarily something you hear, but something you feel. And in that moment, I was just so grateful to be able to have that moment of laziness. And I looked at it and I said, this moment was needed today. And tomorrow I'm gonna get my shit together. Because at the end of the day gonna end. Hey, every day the sun won't shine. But that's why I love tomorrow. I'm trying to be serious, but I am being serious. Like, I know it's funny, but I'm serious. Like, I really learned that I am the type of person that I need that stillness. I need to have hours of no motivation, hours of depletedness, because that is all coming full circle. That moment where I lacked creativity, I lacked motivation, I turned around and had so much creativity, so many ideas. You know how many ideas I thought of after that? Because I took the time to just be still. So while I was still, in the background, there's all of these things still moving, right? There's not this force to make myself get up and do it. And like I said in my last video, of course, have discipline for yourself. Be able to know, like, all right, girl, it's too much. But sometimes you have to have that moment. And I had to give myself grace and just realize, like, stillness is okay, right? And there's a better way to do it. Of course, I could have been still while reading a book instead of watching 6 hours of TV, right? But I really was able to learn that about myself and just accept the fact that I need those down days. Like, I need those down days, because the days when I get back up, girl, I'm up. And so those down days also really taught me, or a day, because it was only one day during my fast that I really felt like that. But I really learned, like, what am I so afraid of, right? Like, what is it? Because those days happen after, like, bursts of, like, really big creativity for me. Like, I'll be so motivated, I'll be so creative, and then when it comes to creating that content, I'll be like, let's stay in bed. Like, what's wrong with the bed? And so I was able to really sit down with myself and journal, like, what am I scared about? Am I scared that I won't be able to handle it when I get it? Am I scared that it won't be exactly what I visioned it to be once I get it? And why am I so untrusting that it'll happen? And so these questions are just kind of things that I journaled to myself, and was able to really explore, like, what is it? What is the relationship that I have with fear that makes me feel so safe, right? Why do I feel like I don't need to go and do the thing that's hard? And that really became clear to me too. I know I'm speaking out of order, but this is just how it's coming out, right? What came super clear to me too during the fast is that I have this very unrealistic expectation that things are supposed to be easy for me. Sure, things come to me easily. I'm blessed and highly favored, but things are not easy to do. And once I get more comfortable doing the hard thing, it's over with for y'all. It's over with, like, cut the cameras, okay? But yeah, I realized that a lot. Like, I think that everything is just roses, daisies, peaches, and ice cream. And I'm like, no, because God has showed me over and over again that on the other side of the hard thing is so much bliss, so much happiness. On that other side of doing the thing that you didn't want to do is so much greatness. But you have to do it, right? This is not some motivational, like, spiel, right? But for me personally, I really learned that, like, that's why I have such a hard time doing stuff, is because I just expect it to be easy. Because things have been relatively easy for me. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've had this, like, hard, terrible life, right? But things have also been hard, like, devastatingly hard. And I've had to step out on faith time and time again, and here we are. Yeah, y'all, I just learned to be still. I learned to be still. I learned to explore my fear, externalize my fear, like, take my fear out and be like, girl, what's good? Like, I appreciate you, but I need you to sit down. Doing that, these type of lessons and revelations and this excitement that you're seeing me get all excited, just reminiscing about everything I've learned, that's the core and foundation of why fasting is important. You want to learn about yourself. Nobody wants to just be unknowing to their flaws, unknowing to the things that make them uncomfortable. Yeah, so that pretty much is everything I wanted to talk about today. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you, I love you, I love you. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.